Hello, I am Fencka and welcome to another episode of Let's Try Thea to the Shattering. Now you are probably wondering why we're starting in the main menu again, and it's because earlier today there was another patch that added and changed quite a few things. So I was thinking, we didn't get that far last time, so maybe let's replay the start, and we'll be using the newest version of the game for the series. So, when we jump into a new game, there are already some changes. Animal senses last time, or in the previous version, we are getting some bonus to gathering. That has been changed. I think if we... Oh, by the way, I kept the difficulty on the same level. And when we move on, the animal senses have been changed. Completely changed. Now, animals and elves and forest demons you control have +1 to each main attribute, and crafting attribute is decreased by 10%. So, to me, this sounds like a pretty significant nerf, at least for the early game. The extra gathering early was huge. Here, well, I really don't know what to expect from this. I've never had an elf or forest demon in my group, and the animals, I'm not sure how that works exactly. It's probably some bonus for your pets, but I really don't know. And I don't like the crafting penalty, but 10% is not that big, so definitely different. And I think, if I remember correctly, the patch notes, all the god bonuses have been changed. That's one thing. And also now when we check the starting bonus we can choose from, we're gonna have our hunter and the gatherer, but they added a new neutral bonus that you can change, that you can pick now. And also they changed one of the old ones. We used to have the Granny's Pantry, that's not changed, but then we had, what was the other one? I think a random basic item, that was the other one, and now instead there is Crow's Hidden Gems. So we are starting with the Crow, which is a pet, and then we are also getting a pack of random gems, so that should be some crafting resources right away. The old one, that the random basic item, is gone. It seems I didn't see it anywhere, even in the bonuses that can be unlocked. And also there is another neutral bonus that you can start with. Add characters' children. This adds 2 children to your starting group, but I don't really understand here why I can't take the bonus, because if I take it, I can put it here, but then this icon goes red, which means I have taken too many things for some reason. But the description still says the number of characters you will start the game with maximum is 6, right? I'm at 5, so I don't really know what the problem here is. I just can't take everything, including the children. What I could do, I could, for example, get rid of the gatherer, and then it would work. So there is maybe something I don't see, or this number, that the maximum is 6, just isn't correct. They didn't change the number, or it maybe has something to do with the difficulty, but I just didn't find the reason. So I decided to actually stick to my hunter gatherer and not take the children, although this could be a really potent bonus. But I want to stick to the to be as close as possible to the settings we used last time. That's that. And when we move on, I think here are no changes. Okay, I already prepared our starting position, so we can load the game. It should be this one. I think the loading time also is a little bit better now. It still takes a while for the game to load the world map, but it's not that bad. So now we jump into the game. Here is the starting location, and I also already checked the map a little bit, so I know where to go. I know where I want to start my village, but it's possible that even before we start the village, we'll get some events we didn't get last time, so I don't want you guys to miss something. So we are really starting from turn 0. Before we go anywhere, actually, there are some new icons now that we can see. First of all, let's make sure we can see the resources, and then here they added this factions on and loyalty tab, so we can now see the loyalty with all the factions in the game. It surprised me how many factions there are in game. I thought there were maybe like 7, at least that's what I've seen so far, and look at that. Holy moly. 2, 4, 6. So there are 18. No, not 18. 12, 14 factions. So twice as many as I thought there were. They also added some factions. For example, Stingers. I don't think that Stingers were in the game before. So they're definitely adding new things quite regularly to the game, and it's getting richer and richer. So this is one tab, and then they added the god trades. I'm not sure if you can get something more, or this is just that you can easily access the god tab, so you can see what you started with and what you are getting from your god. So here's again the description of animal senses and the bonuses that we decided to start with. We can actually see the extra description, begin with the 10 to 15 of basic food and 1 piece of equipment. Okay. Now, what else? So you probably want to check our equipment to see what we started with. So here is the crowd that we are starting with. That's a pad that goes into this slot, and we can see the description increases rituals by 2. So that's this, and more importantly, at least for now, increases perception by 1. So this is a pretty good pad for a hunter. Let's give it to our hunter right away. Again, we are starting with the strength-based weapon, so really not ideal for a hunter, but hopefully we'll be able to get something better soon. Then we are also starting with the sandstone battle axe, which is a 2-handed axe. You actually might be able to use it right away. I'm not sure if we are strong enough. Oh, we are easily. Yeah, because we don't have an armor so that we can handle an axe that weighs 183. It's pretty slow though. So maybe it's better to just stick to the sword. I'd rather deal my damage earlier than do a lot of damage late. When you want to go with slow weapons, you are usually taking some damage first. So you usually want to have some armor so that you can take the damage and then deal your damage. When you have when you don't have armor, you usually want to go first and try to kill the enemy before he can start dealing damage. Then we have our child, and we have here Amber Robes. This is a pretty bad armor, but I mean, it's better than nothing. So this is our main combat character, so might as well give all the gear to our hunter. So that's that. And yeah, now we can start moving and start our village as soon as possible. I think the starting location that I found is here. There should be one great spot. So let's start moving in that direction. And what I've noticed is that, I don't know if it's just us being lucky this time, but it seems to me, even on the highest settings, there are now more resources on the map. So we'll be getting a little bit better location, starting location for our village than last time. Okay, so far nothing interesting. There is a dark wood. And how much food do we have? 16. I'll already research the dark wood. Confirm. And we should be able to gather the dark wood and use it to, or use it for our idol. Let's go here. You have enough food for 16 turns, because when you research a new resource, you automatically get 10 units of that resource. So we need 18 for the idol, so we only need 8 more dark wood. I will make sure we are not burning that. Now we're gonna camp right next to the wood. And also the gathering cost of resources has been reworked. Not all of it, but most of it. I think darkwood used to be 400. Now it's only 200, so it's much easier to gather. But we still don't have enough. Come on, don't have enough points to get a stack every turn. So we'll have to stay here 4 turns to gather enough wood for the idol. Okay, next. Oh, an event right away. Well, we should be better when we choose the intellect or nature, because we have a hunter, right? So that's the nature part. And see what our options are here. And now we'll be getting to combat. It's actually good that we get this event first, because here we can see all the all the all the challenge types that are in the game: physical, intellectual, and like spiritual. Mm, you are using a different stats during each type of challenge. So for the red challenges, you are using your strength and the perception, and your defense or your survivability is based on your normal hit points. During the spiritual challenge, you are using your mysticism and destiny, and your hit point, or as your hit, or you have faith instead of hit points. That's your survivability. And then we have this intellectual, for that we are using intellect, and the other one is wisdom. So these stats we are using as our offensive stats, and our hit points are replaced with our morale, or not morale, the other one, and I don't remember the name now. The yellow bar. Yeah, I don't remember the name, but what I'm trying to say, we are using different stats for each of these challenges, and we should choose the option where we have the highest chance to succeed. There is one more thing to talk about. As you can see, these cards only have a colored edge, but they are gray inside. There are also challenges that the whole card is of the given color, and that is a difference, because during these type of challenges, the grayed out challenges, when your characters take damage during the combat, the damage doesn't stick. At the end of the combat, you are healed up to full automatically. If those cards are fully colored, then the damage sticks, and it like carries over after the combat, and you have to heal it up after. So the challenges where the cards are grayed out are a little bit easier. This is basically just about, okay, can we handle it or not? It doesn't matter how much damage we take, as long as we can win, the damage is healed up after the challenge. When you have the fully colored challenges, then you have to be careful during the combat to take the minimum amount of damage, so that you don't have to heal too much after the combat, and then you are also not risking that you're gonna lose your character, because your people can die. So here, I don't think that we are quite good enough to handle. Oh, one more thing, these numbers here, that's the difficulty of the challenge. So 1 is the easiest one, and it can go all the way to 10. I'm not sure that we are quite ready for the level 2 challenge, so I think we should be able to handle the intellectual one. And now we are getting into combat. All these challenges are resolved in the same way as a combat, but as I said, for each type you are using different stats. Now we have the option to auto resolve, and here the game tells us more or less how the result will look like. From total defeat, when you are not successful and taking crazy amount of damage, through victory with grave injuries. So you will win, but some of your characters will take so much damage that they are in risk of dying. Then we have victory with serious injuries. So again, you win, take a lot of damage, but shouldn't be enough to risk death of your characters. Then victory with injuries, so just some minor damage, and then a perfect victory where you win without taking any damage. For these challenges where the center of the card is grayed out, you can take the auto resolve as long as it's not total defeat, and you'll be perfectly fine. So usually you can just rely on auto resolve for these challenges, but I want to show the combat here, so we'll do this manually. Resolve manually, begin, and we can now talk about the combat. Here the game describes how it works, but I'll do that myself, so let's just get rid of this. And now here we have cards that represent our characters, 1 card for each character. Maximum is 7, I think, and if you have more characters in the group than 7, then 7 are chosen randomly. What else? Here is the battlefield. You can see that it's 1/2 for us, 1/2 for the enemy. and we are placing cards on our side of the battlefield, and we are taking turns with the enemy. The combat is divided into like two main phases. One is deployment phase, when we are placing the characters on the battlefield, taking turns with the enemy, and then there are two combat phases when the combat is automatically resolved. When we are placing our cards on the battlefield, we can see here this tiny icon. That's the cost of the card. And during the deployment phase, as we are taking turns, we always get a certain amount of point during these sub-phases. There are like 7 sub-phases. So we go first, and there is this one green symbol. So we have 1 point to spend to place our card on the battlefield. Then our enemy places his cards, and he will have 2 points. Then it's again our turn, and we will have 2 points. But as we go through these phases, we are getting a penalty to our initiative. So the later you place your character on the battlefield, the slower he will be. And now when I'm talking about initiative, let's check the cards, and we will check the stats that we can see on them. Let's take the hunter, for example. So on the card, you can see here, this is our hit points, our armor, and then we have the cost of the card. This is the damage the card can do with an attack. Then there is our initiative. So the lower the initiative, the faster you go during the combat. And here you can see always the penalty that you get the later you position the card on the battlefield. So if I open up with the hunter, he'll have initiative 9.7. If I wait and position him during the second deployment step, let's say, the initiative won't be 11.7. And it adds up as the deployment phase progresses. And then there is this tiny icon which describes what type of attack this is. This says it's a target single melee. It targets one closest enemy. So this means with this attack we hit the enemy that is closest right in front of us, basically. And then this shows like how to describe this. Oh wait, this is where you place the character on the battlefield. So it shows that we can't use this, or if you use this attack, we can place the card only in the front row. If we had a ranged attack, which you probably don't have, or we do have a ranged attack, here, this shows that we can place it anywhere. And each card can have multiple different attacks. You can see we have a melee attack that deals 5 damage and has initiative 9.7. Or we can choose a different type of attack, which is a poison throwing dagger. That is a ranged attack. We can place the hunter anywhere on the battlefield if you use that attack. It deals only 4 damage, but instead of doing like regular damage, it does poison damage. So if we are hitting a target that has less than maximum hit points, we actually won't be dealing 4, but we'll be dealing 6 damage. And you can see it's much faster. So that's the description of the card. So what we have to consider during the combat is where we position the card on the battlefield, when we play it, then the card's initiative, which means how quickly it will act during the fight, and then also how much damage it can deal and how much damage it can survive. So there is a lot to consider, and the combat is so like difficult, and it takes some time to even not master it, to really be able to like consistently win fights without like taking way too much damage. And mastering the combat, that's probably gonna take a while. So let's start positioning our characters. I think, actually, how are we gonna do it? Let's check all the types of attacks that we have available. Well, I just go in with the hunter and we'll see what happens. Place it somewhere and enter. Now it's our opponent's turn. He'll play some of his cards. Okay, Now you can see that we have 2 points to invest, and you can play each card multiple times. So you can see I can again use my hunter, but this time he'll cost 2. And then I'll be able to use him again, but he'll cost 3. So we have to decide if we want to play like all our cards for the lower cost, or if we want to use, let's say, our strongest card multiple times, but we have to invest a lot more to play it. I think I'll again go with the hunter. And how are we gonna do it? Again, use that poison attack. It's gonna be a long fight because we don't have that much damage. Okay, another card for the opponent. And now we want to get some shield, so we'll use our Gatherer here in front so that he'll tank some of the damage. We have quite a lot of hit points on both these cards, so I think we should be able to win this fight. We'll take quite a lot of damage, but because the type of challenge, it's the one where the damage doesn't stick at the end of combat. We are just trying to win this. We don't care about how much damage we take. We just need to win, and then everything will be healed up. We can even use the child if we really wanted to, but I think I would rather use my hunter again because he deals more damage. So we can carry these points over. Yep. And use them on the next phase. So now it's again a turn for our enemy, and we now have 3 points, so we can play the hunter again. I'd really like to know if our opponent has some points left over from his previous turn. We can actually probably calculate that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and he had 6. So he can play this card again next turn, so that's his shield, and he's probably gonna do it. So because of that, I'm gonna use my throwing dagger again, and I'm hoping I'll be able to hit just this one card over and over again to get the maximum effect of the poison damage. Well, it's up to him now. He has to decide where he plays that card. Yeah, he played it here. So let's see. Now we hit that brain. Hit it again for 7 actually even. I don't know why this was 7. But yeah, he played the card in a way that it can't be hit with the third copy of our hunter, so we didn't finish it off. And now, actually one more attack. Yeah, this is gonna hurt. But we survived, and now we should start killing his cards, because we are very fast. Most of his cards should now die before they can do anything. We finish this one, and I think even our Gatherer... No, actually our Gatherer is slower than this one, but he'll now finish the fight. Okay, so I managed to win. That's all that matters. As I said multiple times, the damage is automatically healed at the end of this type of challenge. And as a reward, we got some ancient wood, which is quite a high-end crafting material, so very nice reward. And we also got a mental blessing. So for 2 turns, you can see the number in the top corner, that 2 in the circle. For 2 turns, we have 120% increased wisdom and intelligence. We can leave. We all get some research points. We all get some experience points. And let's make sure that we are not burning the ancient wood. Okay, how much... where is it? Inventory. How much dark wood we have? Only 10, so 3 more turns. And I wanted to check one more thing that I couldn't remember. Here, maximum sanity. That's what we have been using instead of hit points during the challenge. Okay, next. And another event. And here we can see the difference between a normal combat and a challenge, basically. This is a typical fight when you are really like striking the enemy, he is striking back. You can see that it's also described as an attack. This is a challenge where instead of fighting the enemy, we'll just try to climb away from the tunnel that we fell into. So I don't want to risk taking damage. Instead, I will basically try to retreat from the combat. I just have to succeed in the challenge of climbing back quickly enough. So let's go for that. We could maybe also go for this option, but I'm not exactly sure how this option or what this option leads into, and I don't want to risk anything this early. So let's just get out of here. And again, you can see we'll be some type of combat, but we are just, this is just a test if we can retreat. I think we can auto-resolve this. Yeah, we can win, that's all that matters. We will accept the outcome. We managed to climb up, and because we succeeded, our child got 2-turn physical blessing, extra movement for 2 turns, and increased health for those 2 turns. Again, some research points and some experience points. Also, because we now got enough experience points for level ups, we can check that. So when you level up on 2nd, 4th, 6th, etc. Levels, you get increased stats, and these are generated randomly. Always there is one like major increase, or one stat is picked where you get 2 points, and then you have 2 other stats where you get +1. Sometimes you want to take just +1 if the +2 is not the stat you are focusing on. So for example, when your hunter, who is mainly perception character, gets +2, I don't know, destiny, you don't really care about that. And when you have instead +1 perception there, you go for the +1 perception rather than +2 destiny on your hunter. So that's the 2, 4, 6, etc. levels. And on levels 3, 5, 7, you get like skill ups. So we know that our hunter had that poison dagger, and we can get increased or like a skill up for that skill, so the skill becomes more effective. We'll see once we get to level 3, you'll see what I'm talking about. Here, for our child, I think I'll go wisdom. I want to make the first child like wisdom-based character, which is either a healer or Zerka, like an intellectual leader of the village. So wisdom is good stat to pick up. And then for our hunter, perception based, so +2 perception is perfect. And for our gatherer, well, here I think I'll go for wisdom, because wisdom is one of the stats that increases gathering. Perception also increases gathering, but it's just +1, so I think we are better with wisdom. For some classes, there is no clearly best stat, so you just want to focus on one and keep leveling that up. So we'll probably have like a wisdom based gatherer here. When we get another gatherer later, we could maybe focus on different stat, and then we will have 2 gatherers that are the same class, but each will be good for a different type of challenge, because one will be, for example, wisdom based, and the other one will be perception based. But we can like decide that later. For now, this guy will take wisdom and confirm. So now we got the wood, and we need 1 more stack. Also, we got enough research points to get 1 extra advancement point. Next. And once again, no events this time. And this time, what the hell? We didn't get... Wait. Why did we not get the wood? Should have gotten the wood there. But, or did I just hit next too quickly? It's also possible. Okay, fine, let's do it again. There we go, there's the wood that we need. And now we'll move a little bit, because there is no food in this area. We have to move so that we get some food in the range. And I think that that's gonna be this tile, if I remember correctly. No. Where the hell was it? Was it here? It had to be here. Yeah, there it is. You can see that within 2 tiles we have grain. So, oh wait, look at that. I didn't notice. Grain may be a bit boring, but it's very versatile in the kitchen. Best season for gathering, summer and autumn. I'm not sure if this was in the game before. Because these seasons, the effect of seasons were not fully implemented. I think this is new. So it might change the difficulty or the amount of points that you have to get to gather the resource based on the season that you are in. Currently we are in summer, so it should be quite easy to gather the grain, but I can imagine that gathering grain during winter will be a lot more difficult. Well, that would be great. They also added some weather effects, so you can now have storms on the map, for example, giving you penalties. They added quite a bit, and I definitely didn't see everything. I basically just like found a decent starting spot and then I started recording. So I'll be exploring everything that the new or the latest patch added as I'm playing. But well, this is our or this is the tile when we want to start where we want to start our village. So let's camp again, and now we have to get the not this one, building here. Now we have to get the idol up as quickly as possible. And because we are now using a dark wood instead of a normal wood that we used last time, the idol will be a little bit stronger. So I think last time with the normal wood, we got like plus 2.6 to gathering and crafting. With the dark wood, we are getting 3.4. So we'll be able to craft and gather a little bit faster with the better idol. The visibility and gathering range will stay the same, and there's then the other option to use the essence from the crafting resource. That would decrease the gathering and crafting to 2.6, but all our people will get plus 7.6 sanity as long as they're in the village. When I'm starting, I prefer going with maximum gathering and crafting early, so that I can like get the resources and get the basic gear faster. And later it might be more important to get some of these extra stats. But as I said, for now I just want to get the gathering and crafting bonus as high as possible. So we'll go with the normal idol. Confirm, and because we suck at crafting, it's gonna take a while to build this thing, but it's still just 4 turns, so we should be fine. We have, I think, more than enough wood and food to survive for 4 more turns. What we could also do, we could unlock another resource, just most likely gonna be the fur. Let's do that. We have the advancement points, so let's unlock the fur. And our child can already start gathering it. It's only has 20. Oh wait, I can't. Yeah, it's out of range. Until I get the village, it's too far. But it still can at least gather the wood. It's gonna take forever to get it, 5 turns to get 1 stack, but may as well do it, better than doing nothing. And we'll also get this shadow bone in range of our village. So we'll get like 3 tier 2 crafting materials in gathering range of our village. So this is definitely a really good spot. We have the wood, we have food. This is a great spot, and that's why I think they maybe increased a little bit the density of resources on the map, even on the higher difficulty. Next. Oh, another event. So let's help the fish back into deeper water. And because we help the fish, we have a mental blessing for 3 turns this time, 130%. This event also got changed. I don't know if it now has random outcome. Before this patch, you always had the same outcome that you could ask the fish for, like a secret. Now it just gives a blessing. I don't know if the other result is still available or if it got changed completely. And yeah, here's the icon that we are slowly running out of wood, but that will be fine. Oh, Stork. Oh, that's not bad. Stork brought us carrier goat and the horse. Horses are pretty good because they increase the carry limit of your group, we'll get to that later, but increase movement points so your people can move faster around the map. So when we start sending out expeditions, they'll be able to move faster, which is great. And the goat, well, maybe we'll use that as well, but for now I'm just glad that we got this. These are the horse and the goat work the same way as the crow. They are just pets, so you equip them in the inventory. Okay, now we have finally our village, so it's time to start gathering food and the dark wood so that we can craft gathering tools to speed everything up. So first of all, gathering. You can see how many resources you can craft. 4 copies are wood, so this is not relevant as we have access to better type of wood. But even without the basic wood, we still have pretty decent resource base. Now, as you can see, we now got another character, Bogdan, which is like a village mascot, a demon that you get for free when you build your idol. So you always get this guy. You can see this icon, this shoe here. That means he can't leave the village. But I mean, it's extra workforce, so it's really nice to have him right from the start. Okay, and also you can see that the gathering numbers are now higher because the effect of the idol kicked in. So everyone got a plus 34, I think it was, to their number, and maybe there are some other bonuses that I don't see because the gathering for our child went from 20 to 59, so the bonus is actually much more significant. There's maybe something else that I'm missing, but what I'm trying to say is that thanks to the bonus from the village, we can now gather much faster. And that's even without any gathering tools. So, we want the dark wood. Let's start with that. Make sure... Why is this plus 79? What the hell? Okay, I'm again missing something. Wait, we need food first. There might be again some reason, or the seasons might be the reason why we are not getting the full effect, because 79 is half of the gathering skill. Can I see the details? Why am I getting only half of the gathering skill? See, plus 79 per turn. When I tried this, it's only plus 40. What the hell is going on? Is it because it's night? It's more difficult to gather things during the night. And this is, again, something new. So I'm not sure what's going on here. But it has to be either night. There's no weather effect. If there was some like weather effect, that would be as an icon here. Can we check the night? Visibility is limited during the night turns, and roaming monsters are more likely to follow your groups and attack. Well, it doesn't say anything about crafting or gathering penalty. Gathering. Can I see it somewhere? No. There's nothing in the description. That's a bit confusing. Okay, fine. How much wood do we have? We'll have to do this a little bit differently, make sure that we don't die. I think I will have to get the grain first. And then if I, let me see, allow us to burn the dark wood so that we have enough fuel for 8 more days, I could... And why the hell? Oh, wait. That had to be a bug. I just closed the screen and opened it again, and now we are getting the full effect. Yeah, well, it's an early access game. You could encounter some bugs here and there, but this was probably just some processing problem that the game or that the screen had to be open again for the game to realize there have been some changes. I don't know, but now everything should work as we can see on the screen. So every turn we get a stack of dark wood, and then we get the grain. So every 2 turns, we get a stack of that. And the stack is size 20, so grain is pretty good for that, as you are getting huge stacks every time you gather it. So food shouldn't be a problem either. Okay, fine. So that's that, and let's get the resources. Let me quickly check. First, we need to get a gathering tool. I just need to check how much or how many resources we need for that. We'll be using wood, so we need to get 27 wood, and then we can start working on the first gathering tool. We have 7. Okay, so that's 4 turns. Next. Oh, we lost some food. That's bad. Can't really afford to lose food. This is another story quest, basically. And again, I'll just be skipping this. Yes, as he is forced to play a demon game and you must go look for a friend, try and sort it out, or he'll be forced to trick you. Skip, and we'll choose our friend. Again, I want to focus on the game mechanics here, how it plays out, how it works, instead of going through all these quests and reading everything, because there is a lot of reading. I don't want to delay the game by that. If we do another series after the game is released, for example, we do a full let's play, then we'll focus on the lore a lot more. Now, next. Oh, there's something incoming. And you can see here the only option is a normal fight. So this is for the first time that we will have to also focus on avoiding damage as much as possible. This is just one of these things, demons, whatever. If we auto-resolve, yeah, we would take some injuries. So I will try to do this manually and get the better result, but this can be pretty tough. And because this is like a physical combat, you can see that our stats are now a bit different. We'll be using our demon quite a bit because he has a shield. So we want him to tank the damage. But maybe we'll go with the hunter first because he's real fast. Let's see. Let me check all our options. If we have some maybe passive skills. No, like not all the skills have to always be combat skills. You can get skills that, for example, you increase your shielding and you make your character faster, all that kind of stuff. So I'm checking all my options for this fight. Okay, this is our unique ability, Ghostly X. Or one of our unique skills, because our hunter has access to brute force like a normal fist attack. Then we can attack with the sword, or we can use this skill that we have, Ghostly Axe, and then we have another skill, Poison Throwing Dagger. This is by far the most damage, and it's not that slow, so let's use that. How much damage is this? 23. 23 isn't bad. Problem is this is like a ranged attack, so it can attack any character on the map. I'll still play Bogdan. What is this? Line charge. Melee attack targets 2 opponents in a vertical line. Well, I don't think that we'll ever have an opportunity to really hit 2 things with the line charge. I'll just go with the energy scattering and try to use Bogdan as a shield. And I think now we pass. This, how is it called? Can we see it? Like a wisp or something like that. I don't know how this thing is called exactly, but it has this very annoying icon, Speed of the Swarm. This character's delay will decrease for each other ally character placed on the battlefield after them. So the more copies of this card, or any card, we are playing against one mob right now, so it will be multiple copies of the same things. But if the opponent has access to even multiple different cards, every time he plays a card, the copies that are already in play are getting faster. So it's very difficult to fight this effectively and not take damage. We can play Bogdan again, I think. And then we're gonna play our Hunter next turn. Yeah, you can see it went down again. And 9.7. Let's see how this is gonna work out. So first, this one deals 5 to anyone. That's the problem. I can't say who's gonna be the target. It goes first. Then our Hunter deals 12. Then it's, you can see it here. Then it's Bogdan doing 6. So that's 18. And then we need to deal 5 more. That should be the throwing dagger. And hopefully it deals 5. So the last card wouldn't... Actually, it won't attack anyway. It's 11.3 and Bogdan, the second copy, is 10.8. So no matter what, we take damage from these two. And this one won't get its attack. We just have to deal 23 damage. So yeah, let's go with the dagger. And this is more than 23 easily. Hopefully they just attack Bogdan and we lose armor instead of some hit points. This shouldn't be the end of the world. They are not doing that much damage. Okay, so first this one. Of course, it's going after the Hunter. Yeah, so we now took 1 damage to hit points, and this damage will stick. We'll have to heal it up after combat. Because we have a ranged attack. Actually, wait, this is a ranged attack that can't hit any character on the battlefield. This can only like be used against a character right in front, so we can't choose like these two cards. There are 2 different types of like ranged attacks. This one can be used on any target on the battlefield, while this one can be only like the dagger can be thrown only like directly in front of you, so we don't have a freedom to pick our target. Here it doesn't matter, but in some in other fights this could be important. Okay, confirm. 12 damage, 6 more. Now this one attacks. Of course it goes after the Hunter. The AI is quite smart. It's targeting characters where the damage is most relevant. And you can see we have taken, or our Hunter took 6 damage during the fight, and here it's telling us that now he has 6 less hit points. You can see it here, 21 out of 27, and we'll have to heal that up. You just heal it up. As you are playing on the world map, you heal certain amount every turn based on, for example, what other characters you have. If you have a healer, you are healing faster. I think if you have more types of food, you are healing faster. There are multiple factors that affect the speed of healing. Okay, but we won. That's important. 6 damage is really acceptable, not that as bad as I expected. Sudden hailstorm. This is a hailstorm. This could be quite annoying. If we go for the first option, we shouldn't take any damage. But we will probably lose quite a few items, quite a few resources. If we try to protect the houses and livestock, we will definitely take damage. And there is still a chance that we lose some resources, but I'm gonna risk it. Okay, so we didn't succeed. So you can see our people all took damage and we lost some resources, especially the Darkwood really sucks. Well, sometimes these bad things happen and you can't really do anything about it. And here is this is the introduction of our house demon. So here the game tells us who is the guy we just got, I think. Again, if you want to read the description, just pause the game. We got some experience, and now we got another level up, and because this will be level 3, we'll now get different things. As you can see, we are not getting stats, but we are getting skills. Um, for our child, we can go with luck or lucky sod. Um, the child already has this skill. So if we decide to pick it, it will increase from level 1 to level 2. You can see it in the bar under the icon, under the leaf. There you see that currently there is that one yellow bar filled in. If we take another level, there will be 2 bars filled. It can go all the way to 5, and with every level that you take, it becomes more effective. You can see here it increases luck by 5. On next level, it increases luck by 8. I'm not sure about this stat. I really don't know what the exact effect of luck is, how exactly it affects the events. The other option would be to pick up a new skill that we don't have yet. Dizziness Powder. And this is an AoE debuff that makes all, or I'm not sure if it's all enemy cards or if just like a certain amount of enemy cards, make them slower. We can maybe check it out here. Enemy affected by this sub-skill suffer increased delay, affects 3 opponents in horizontal line. So here we can see what it affects exactly. I'm not a big fan of the Mass Lullaby. I prefer like a targeted debuffs that affect one character but delay it by a lot more than just one. So I think I'll pass and instead go for level 2 luck. For our hunter, here are the skills that I was talking about. Poison Throwing Dagger and the Ghostly Axe. Both of these are combat skills. So when we check the details, Poison Throwing Dagger is based, it can be used in 2 different types of challenges. It can be used in the physical challenge or in the intellectual challenge. It can't be used in the spiritual one. And when you are using it in physical challenge, this skill is strength based, and when you are using it in intellectual challenge, the yellow one, it is I think this is intelligence or intellect based, and its base damage is 1. Its poison damage, its ranged attack, all the description is here. But our hunter is a perception based character, so we don't really want to level up a skill that is strength or intellect based. So I would much rather go for the Ghostly Axe, which is a skill that can be used in physical challenges and spiritual challenges. For both these challenges, it's always based on your perception, so it's great. Now our hunter will be pretty effective even in purple challenges because his perception is high. These are very, very potent skills when they can be used in multiple types of challenges, but are only based on one stat. That means you can only like focus on one stat, but the character is becoming more effective in multiple types of challenges, if that makes sense. It deals, where is it? I can't see the type of damage here. It's definitely not the basic damage, but the description isn't here. The base is 1.2, and against range damage and the delay, the details of the skill. So you can see that on current level, we can do 12 damage with this skill. If you level it up, you'll be able to do 15. Well, let's go for that. And for our Gatherer, we are getting 2 new skills, and I don't think that either of them is particularly useful. Showing Off is intellect based, which we don't want because our Gatherer is stacking up wisdom, not intellect, so not super useful. It's a debuff. Or attack that applies a debuff. It deals damage, and when you hit someone, he get or the card gets delayed. Or the other option is just a passive bonus, increased crafting. And I'm not sure that I want to increase crafting on our Gatherer, right? The Gatherer should be there gathering stuff, not crafting. So in the end, we'll end up with Showing Off. Not the best option, but I mean, it gives us more options during the intellectual challenge, so may as well take it. And confirm. But what I want to know now, can we find that somewhere? here. No, here we can see it's poison damage. But we can't see the description of this type of damage. It's definitely not a normal damage, right? Normal damage is this skull. There's still something that goes on with this type of damage. And I'm not sure what it is. When we get to combat, hopefully we'll get the description. This probably, if I remember correctly, this type of damage is multiplied by 1.5 if the target has armor. So it should be more effective against armored targets. I'm not certain about that, not 100% sure, but I think that's what this damage icon means. We also got another research point. Not really needed yet. We'll be using it for the Shadow Bone, but we don't have enough people to gather the resources that we already have available. Well, I think this will be enough for this episode. We covered the combat, all the damage types, all that kind of stuff, and I think this might be a bit overwhelming. I'm trying to explain everything as best as possible, maybe over-explaining some things, but yeah, it's still quite complicated, and it takes a while to really understand how all the stat works, what is connected to what, which skill can be used on what type of challenge, how these challenges or different challenges work exactly. But hopefully it was possible to understand at least something that I was trying to explain. And in the next episode, I think we are done with most of the explaining. Next time we'll fully focus on gameplay and try to get our basic gear, all the gathering tools that will increase our gathering very significantly and speed things up. Then we start getting weapons, start getting armor, and finally start exploring our island. That'll be the plan for the next episode. But for today we are done, so I hope that you liked today's episode. I hope that you're gonna join me next time again, and until then, have a good time. Bye bye.